What's going on, guys? So today on this SHOKY Quickie, we're going to be taking a look at the next in the Transformers Red line, and it is good old Megatron. And given how things went with Prime last time, I don't expect to be super wowed with this. Also, I am saying that knowing that I specifically have not actually reviewed Prime just yet. I've only opened him. That's how YouTube time travel works. I'm referring to something in the future that I believe to be a possibility. So let's check out the Megatron packaging. Obviously, you got the plastic window there. Check this out. You got the accessories down the side, which is, it's a pretty neat way to do that, if I'm honest. Because in here, there's no good way to show it off. Of course, you got nothing over here but artwork. Same kind of ripping through, going from color to black and white, which is pretty nice, I'm not going to lie. It says non-converting figure, figurine non-convertible, nicht verwandelbar figure, figura no convertible, a figura no se converte. All the languages. By the way, it's 8+, and I'm in the middle of that. The back looks like that. Shows off the different things. I will say his neck, it doesn't look like he has one. There is one benefit to these figures, and it's that because they're not having to compensate for transforming gimmick, they can make it look like it kind of just walked off the screen. Just peering through the packaging, it looks like he's already got a tweaked arm. Wow, okay, so just right off the bat, like the joint between his shoulder and his forearm is tiny. And I'm worried that that is definitely flexed. Okay, so he has interesting accessories. Got his mace on a chain, which replaces the hand. Actually, having replaceable hands is kind of cool. I didn't know he came with an Energon Cube. The review that I watched of it didn't even mention the Energon Cube. Okay, and interesting. Okay, so you pull out the side piece. It's got that little schematic on there, mostly featuring the accessories. That's kind of cool. And then you pull out the background for that, and it's got most of the accessories there for Megatron and a nice outline. The face looks really strange, not gonna lie. And let's look at Megs up close here. Oh, yeah. So he's, in theory, he has bicep swivel, and you can see right off the bat. Look at this. Look at that. The way the packaging, and just like I pointed out with Prime, that the packaging was sort of doing some damage as it went. In theory, the fusion cannon is one big hunk. If not, it's mostly hollow. I would say it looks like Megatron. It looks like G1 Megatron. Like, without a doubt. And of course, you don't have to worry about transforming gimmick, like I said. So there you go. I mean, the only thing I would say is that maybe the Decepticon logo is the wrong kind of purple. But, I mean, it's Hasbro, so in theory, that should be dead on. I'm seeing some paint differences. Or maybe it's just plastic differences. The fact that they use, like, a metallic plastic for, like, the gray. Actually, almost all of it is, like, a metallic plastic, except for his diaper. His diaper is just straight up gray. I don't know. Like, I'm concerned that this arm is going to be damaged because of that. I mean, he looks good. I'm not so sure about the accessories yet, you know, things like that. So that's why this is an initial reaction to just taking it out of the box. And like I said, I have watched a review of this. All three of them, to be fair, even Soundwave. I did have Soundwave in hand, but I didn't feel like buying it just yet. And like I said, I don't know just yet if I'm going to keep these. If I don't, I already know where they're going to go. There's a certain Transformer collector I know who is probably pretty interested in these and has different standards to me. I'll just say it that way. So let's see what the Tyrant of Cybertron looks like up close. That's why I have to get so weak. Alright, so there's Megatron and his accessories. So let's pop out the accessories first. So we got the hands. Here we go. Oh, okay. It's solid, more solid than I thought it would be. And then, oof, that's just weird looking. Okay. Throw that on the floor. And let's get Megatron out of here. Supreme Leader Megatron of the Decepticon forces. And unlike Prime, I did actually cut the things first. Okay. Wow. Well, I guess. So, that's just funny that he has an ab crunch and that's how it executes. Okay, so out the packaging here. He's hefty. Like these feet, or these legs feel very dense. But he also feels very dense up top, and this fusion cannon is definitely solid, not hollow, which is something. Okay, so if you look at him here, of course, he's molded all in this gray, really bright purple Decepticon logo, black painted eye, or red painted eyes with black eyeliner, which, you know, that's straight up Buckethead as it is. And that's a pretty good head sculpt. I actually think that's really good, even as his eyebrows, which I always kind of forget that Megatron has eyebrows. What do we got for a head? Same double ball peg, one in the head, one in the neck. Okay. Whoa. Alright, so he's got really good upward butterfly motion there. Can go all the way around. Bicep rotation, single jointed elbow, none of which is bad. Holding hand for nothing, because he doesn't have an accessory that you hold. And once again, the fusion cannon arm is ever so slightly wonky, but that's good. I gotta see here. Okay, so he can. So here's the problem with a lot of these. The arm can't tilt out that way at all. So if you want to get it in more of a menacing vertical pose, you're gonna have to get it like out here. So you can't do the quintessential, I guess you can, but you gotta do it like this. You can only point straight forward. You can't like tilt it out to the side. So, you know, a universal joint would have been better for the shoulder in that case. So that's kind of lame. Okay, so torso, got rotation with a slight locking joint there. Feels almost springy, which is interesting. And he has one hell of a ab crunch, which I find amusing. Paint is nice on him, so the details there on the chest are good. Red paint under here, his big old vents. He has side skirts, which seemingly pointless. I know they're technically part of his design, but they're more in the way than they do anything else. Let's see here. So, one thing you'll notice, his legs look bent. Especially here. I'm really scared to push any further. I don't know how that's technically constructed, because this part seems to be virtually solid, although it's probably split right there. Well, really bad nub mark there. Let's see, how far can he kick forward? Only to there. I don't think I ever noticed that his crotch area is asymmetrical, which is interesting. Backside looks okay. His gun barrel is very twisted, just from being in the box. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get his double jointed knees to work. That's just a single knee, and it can kick way the hell back there. He does technically have two knee joints, so let's see if we can... He has an upper knee joint, but it's not doing anything. I can get that one to move. That one is frozen, so I'm not going to pull on it. Once again, that thigh rotation is really scary. I mean, just the way that is. He does have molded inside parts to that, which is good. I would have painted them red. It would have looked a little bit better. And then toe point down to about there. Ankle rocker is virtually non-existent because they just trap the frickin' feet different color paint down here. Now, on Prime, I did discover you could really pull down on the ankles. Oh, okay. Megatron's comes down without much effort. That was nothing. Oh, wow. Yeah, super slot down. Look at this. Look, you can really get that ankle to do a lot more, especially if you rotate it a little more. You can definitely get some more up and down. But that gave him a lot more room. Primes would come down, but not with that much conviction. And also they were like popping, so they weren't really doing much. But so you can do a little bit more, though. His forearms are super stubby. Am I the only one who feels that? Like, I wish you could just like pull them down, make them a little bit longer. Like, I mean, they don't even come down like mid thigh. They're like just below the hip. That's a little bit short, if we're honest. Like, even for Transformers, that's a little bit short. But I mean, overall, he looks like Megatron, which is really all he needs to do. Of course, now he doesn't want to stand effectively, so I'm going to use that knee bend in conjunction with that ankle. And so his ankle rocker works better than Prime. I'll say that. So let's look at accessories. And scooch him back. And we've got a open left hand. No biggie, just looks like a glove. And we have a fist left hand. Nothing crazy. I'm noticing as a fact that he does not have a different right hand at all. He does have the left pointer finger. I wonder if that's the same mold but reversed as Prime. Almost. Would not be surprised. Boop. Let's see here. What else? We got the cube holding hand, which is, of course, the left hand. And we have the Energon mace, which is somewhat squishy, but also still kind of solid. Does it have a wrist thing? Nope. But let's go ahead and try to put it in to a wrist socket. And, you know, actually with surprisingly little effort, that does go in there. And if I remember correctly, he did use it with his right hand. But I think he also didn't have his fusion cannon on at the time. And from what I could tell, there's no way to remove the fusion cannon. It's pretty hard on there, but it's also very blurp. It is very blurp, as it were. It's almost like it's just too much. Also, this is solid molded. It's just kind of meh. So I'm going to go without that and just leave the only right hand they give you, which is, once again, pretty short-sighted. And then I'm going to use the only left hand that I kind of dig. And we'll go with this. And I'm going to assume, yeah, so the whole hand is, in fact, translucent pink or purple. Okay, that's actually cool. They did a decent job painting that. That is a pain in the butt to do. I'm not going to lie. Like, trying to paint normal color on top of translucent is a pain. And make it look decent and be able to clean it up nicely. So, I don't know. Megatron's actually pretty good for what he is. I'm going to leave the Energon cube in his hand. And I'll bring back out primer. And you see Megatron is taller, as he should be. Now, they look good together. But the more I look at it, because of the translucent, Prime just looks dull. And with the grays instead of silvers, also looks dull. And once again, we'll compare him to the other Buckethead. Very similar. Vader's still taller. And then compared to a mainline Voyager. So you can see, obviously, way bigger on the Voyager size. And then once again, compared to the Gundam Universe line, which, once again, I'll say, Gundam is a bit sharper in details and stuff like that. So I think that, you know, this line is getting close, but it's not perfect. Okay, that's kind of funny. He's actually in his own shadow here. He's in the shadow of his own Energon cube. So I will say this: Megatron, I think, is ever so slightly better than Prime, and I like his accessory of the Energon Cube a bit better than Prime's other accessories. He feels more solid, and the paint is cleaner, and like the engineering and the ankles and stuff like that is definitely better. I think one thing they're lacking is swappable heads, and given that it's just a ball joint, they could do that. Like that wouldn't be that hard. And he looks like he should have like his Megatron like laughing face or smirking face would make this really, really well done. Also, a wash would definitely not go amiss. Like just pick out some of those details. And he doesn't have to be silver by any means. And the gray is not terrible, but he's still kind of lacking. And the fact that the fusion cannon is solid feels funny. There's no way to remove it, which is kind of annoying because I do like my Megatron with the ability to remove the fusion cannon. Some of his joints are super loose. Some of them are a little bit wonky. But like, he still functions. Some of y'all got that. But as it goes, I'd say he's better than Prime. I think the mold is cleaner. I think that the details are picked out a lot easier. I think with the fact that Prime is a lot of whites and yellows on top, and you have to paint reds and stuff on top of those, it doesn't work as well as what Megatron does. Now, like I said before, I think we're probably going to get Starscream, Bumblebee, and Grimlock next, if not Soundwave instead of Bumblebee, something like that. But they have to give us a Bumblebee in all these. Now, what I gotta wonder, and I've seen other people review these, they're all the same size. Like Megatron, Soundwave, and Optimus are all the same size figures. I mean, with just a little bit, like we already saw. Like Megatron is just a hair taller than Prime, as he should be. But when they get to other figures, if they continue this line, what do you do with a Cliff Jumper? What do you do with some of the other smaller Transformers? Do you make them the same scale? Do you pull like a Flame Toys and make everybody the same size, regardless of what size they should be? And yeah, I'm not comparing Flame Toys because they're not in the same price range. Not even for the Fury model, or even the Fury figure line that's coming up. Is a figure Fury something? Either way, the pre-painted model kits that are coming, that's not even remotely in the same price range as these, which is in the $20 to $25 range, depending. And like I said, Megatron feels more solid. Prime with this blue plastic that feels super cheap. The translucent that I think didn't need to be translucent. I would have much rather this been red plastic with painted windows. I think it would have looked better than trying to go translucent. You don't need to see the Matrix at all times. In fact, you generally don't see the Matrix. It has a cover. And then the only silver paint he has is on his chest with the gray stripe going around there. And he should have had a lot more silver. The pipes and stuff like that should have been silver. Things just could have been better. I think Megatron is a better figure. I had Soundwave in hand. I didn't buy him, like I said. And I'm on the fence. I don't need another line to collect. But in some aspects, especially if I'm planning on getting rid of like my Siege / Earthrise line, it's possible that I would maybe substitute for these. And that's where I'm at. So, I might get rid of them, might hold on to them. I feel like Prime is the letdown so far. Let me know what you think about these two. If you have Soundwave as well, if you have an opinion on how that looks, or what you think the next stuff in the line is going to be, leave it down below. And of course, go check out the merch and the Patreon if you want to. And come check out the Discord. The Discord is pretty bopping. We got a lot of things over there, all kinds of stuff. Basically how my channels work, where, if whatever nerd stuff you like, there's pretty much a channel for it. Action figures, Transformers, Gundam, artwork, statues, anime, all those things. Come check out the Discord. Come hang out. And I'll catch you guys next time. Remember, as always, keep on nerding.